Coney, Hope for Freedom, here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Our guest here in studio is Bill Quigley. He's the legal director of the Center for Constitutional Rights, has spent years also working in Haiti. Juan?
Bill, you also were deeply involved in the situation in New Orleans, and you were in the break. You were talking about the similarities in terms of the ability of the local authorities to respond. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, the trauma that this causes affects the elected officials, the police, the fire, everybody through, and ultimately, you know, until order is restored, and order meaning a just order is restored, people break into small groups, family groups, neighborhood groups, and that to try to care for each other. The police are just as bewildered and traumatized as everybody else. And one of the big worries that we have about Haiti is this, you know, sending in the military, that there is this real sense that you can't actually start to feed people, or you can't actually share water with people until you have people there with machine guns to prevent, you know, the worries of folks. And there's an actual fear of the victims by people who are coming. They're afraid of the people, when in fact the people are the most resilient, cooperative, generous folks who have already survived on their own. And this sort of militarization and scaredness, scariness of the people there is something that's common to all disasters, and we can talk some more about that in a bit. But it's a very eerie sense of what's happening there.
Well, I've been struck, too, by the disparate responses of governments, not just the United States, but other governments around the world. President Obama, listening to him talking about how we're doing military flyovers to assess the damage and prepare our aid. But while the United States is assessing the situation, there have already been reports that a China airplane from halfway around the world in China landed yesterday with supplies and equipment to help the people of Haiti. The Cuban foreign minister announced that Cuba has 400 people already in Haiti that have been working on medical people working on a mission. They've already set up 2 field hospitals, and just yesterday alone treated 800 people. And Venezuela, President Chavez sent a plane that landed last night with firefighters and medical personnel and other equipment. So these other countries are moving faster than we are here in the United States, even though we have these enormous resources.
Cuba's always been a real partner of Haiti, and I was always struck there because the United States was keeping people from Haiti out of the United States. Cuba was pulling people into Cuba to train them as doctors. They were scholarship in every church and every village and everything there to do as doctors. So they have been friends for some time. The United States relationship with Haiti has been troubled for hundreds of years, and is really one of the causes of, not of the earthquake itself, which would have devastated any place, but one of the exacerbating things that why Haiti is so impoverished to begin with, why people are building these houses on the sides of ravines, why there are so many people in Port-au-Prince, and why they're not in the countryside anymore. You know, and I don't know if you want to talk about that now, but the history really lays the foundation for why the impact of this natural disaster is going to be so severe.
Let's talk about that history. Actually, Juan, I first met you not here in the United States, but in Haiti.
In Haiti, yes.
And it was during that first coup against President Aristide from 1991 to 1994. It turned out the CIA was involved in that coup. And for 3 years, he was kept out. We're talking to Bill Quigley here in our studios. We're also joined by Skype by Brian Concannon, who is the director of the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti. And I want to continue that discussion of the history, which is so critical. Brian.
Thanks, Amy. It's good to be with you.
Can you talk about the history and how, as Bill was just saying, how the history exacerbates the crisis of the earthquake that has afflicted so many millions of people in Haiti right now?
Sure. The history really defines the response and the vulnerability of Haiti to the earthquake. One of the most obvious ways it does that is, as Bill was mentioning, the reason why the people got to the hillsides where they were most vulnerable to the earthquakes, and I'm pretty sure when we start getting more detailed reports on how many people have died, that most of the people who have died will have done so in shanty towns perched on the hillsides. And they got there because they or their parents or grandparents were pushed out of Haiti's countryside where most Haitians used to live. And they were pushed out of there by policies. 30 years ago, it was decided by the international experts that Haiti's economic salvation lay in assembling manufacturing plants. And in order to advance that, it was decided that Haiti needed to have a captive labor force in the cities. So a whole bunch of aid policies, trade policies, and political policies were implemented designed to move people from the countryside to places like Marquisante and the hillsides that we've seen in those photos.
And would you like to add to this, Bill, this history from, 1804?
Well, as not everybody does know, but, in 1804, the imported African slaves that were brought to work the island revolted against the French, their French rulers and colonial folks there, and established a free state, a free black state, first time in the world. And the United States responded very badly because we clearly, we still had enslaved millions and millions of Africans in the United States, and it wasn't until after the Civil War that we even had any sort of relationship with them. And Haiti is much closer to the United States than even some parts of the United States. France put a military blockade around Haiti to force them to pay reparations for their own freedom, to recompense people for the slaves that were freed. And in the last century, the United States supported dictator after dictator, and the elected officials, we supported the coups that knocked them out. We have kept the country dependent. We have kept the country militarized. We kept the country impoverished. We have dumped our excess rice, our excess farm produce and that stuff on the country, thereby undercutting the small farmers who would make up the backbone of the place. So there are two really good articles for the people in the audience in today's New York Times, Tracy Kidder, and also in The Guardian by Peter Hallward, saying the crisis that we helped create. We didn't create the